In my last video, I ended it by saying Going Commando was a 10 out of 10. I used to play this game so much, and every single time I was like, whoa, look at that, and look at that, and look at that. Well, I finally got to replay Going Commando, and yes, it's a 10 out of 10. Going Commando picks up a couple of months after the first game, and Ratchet and Clank are being interviewed for a Where Are They Now segment.
We're still pretty busy, but in a more, domestic sense.
Yesterday, I flushed out my radiator core.
I guess no one needs a hero right now.
Watching the show is Abercrombie Fizzwidget, who recruits Ratchet and Clank to help return a stolen biological experiment from a mysterious masked person. They go out on their adventure and chase after the stranger until Clank is kidnapped by some hired thugs from a company called Thugs for Less, where you can rent out thugs for less. Ratchet goes to save Clank, and the duo finally catch up to the masked menace and steal back the stolen biological experiment, known as the Proto-Pet, and return him to Fizzwidget, who then accidentally drops them onto a desert planet. The duo finds their way out and are confronted by the masked menace, a female Lombax named Angela Cross, who reveals she's actually the good guy and used to work for Megacorp, the company that Fizzwidget owns, also revealing the Proto-Pet is evil and Fizzwidget is going to use Megacorp to clone the Proto-Pet and sell it, even though it's prone to going on a murderous rampage. Ratchet and Clank and Angela are like, we need to warn Fizzwidget, and so they go to Megacorp, where Thugs for Less, where you can buy thugs for less, is already waiting for them since Fizzwidget paid for their services. They are captured, but after escaping, they rush to stop Fizzwidget and find out he's actually Captain Quark in disguise, who's been in hiding after being disgraced at the end of the first game. His plan is to release the Proto-Pet and cause destruction, and then go around saving the day and frame Ratchet, Clank, and Angela for releasing the Proto-Pet, getting them locked up in the process. He ends up getting eaten by the Daddy Proto-Pet, and Ratchet and Clank face off against the Daddy Proto-Pet and save Fizzwidget and Quark. To be fair, there is a post-credit scene that goes more in depth about the ending. Things worked out and Quark got a job at Megacorp.
So you tested this, right? Oh, wait, that's why I'm here. Oh, one more thing.
And that's basically the story of Going Commando. It's fine. I think there are moments I really like, but there's also something missing. A big chunk of the story is just Ratchet and Clank chasing Angela before they know who she is by getting to a planet as she is leaving the planet, and they're like, she just left, but now we need to figure out what she was up to on this planet. And that kind of repeats for way too long. But it's more than just that. Ratchet and Clank had a really fun dynamic in the first game because we saw how much things developed between them. They went from hating each other to working together, and in this one they barely really have any memorable moments together. Sure, the sass comes out every now and then.
Oh, did you see that?
Yes, Angela knows how to defeat the Proto-Pet.
And
she does a terrible cat impression.
And we have to rescue her from the thugs.
Agreed. We need that answer.
And we have to protect her.
Okay.
But overall, I feel the story is way weaker here. Angela Cross is an alright character, and the game's story does pick up a bit more when she reveals herself, and then the reveal of Fizzwidget being Quark is a funny enough reveal. I personally love Quark, so I'm glad he made a return even if it's brief. But yeah, the story is overall way weaker this time around. But who cares about that? When the gameplay isn't just some of the absolute best, it's top tier perfection. In my review for the first game, I said the shooting mechanics were fun, but frustrating and unfair when facing specific enemies because of the very wonky shooting. Throw that all out of the window. This game lets you strafe side to side, which immediately locks onto enemies in front of you. You can jump while strafing in any direction, which makes escaping tight situations easy to pull off, but difficult to really master. The variety in guns is massive, and this time by killing enemies with specific guns, you level up the gun, and when you max this bar out, it becomes an upgraded version. The regular gun becomes faster and does more damage. These ninja stars spin around enemies, hitting them multiple times, but when you upgrade them, they break off and become multiple stars, hitting enemies even more. There's my personal favorite, this bomb that explodes into more bombs and causes an ocean of explosions, and when upgraded becomes even bigger bombs with more explosions. It just causes chaos when used in big groups of enemies. There's these little robots that come out and shoot alongside you, straight up rockets to shoot, a laser sniper rifle, this shotgun style blaster, and so many more. I didn't even end up buying all the weapons, that's how many there are, but I had a ton of fun trying out each one. one. Even the ones I honestly didn't like, I still used a lot to get them leveled up. And there are tons of enemies. Sometimes I was panicking, fighting my way through the enemies, getting my ass absolutely beat. But it's not just about blasting the homies to eternity, it's about platforming. And the platforming in this game is also top tier. I think the game perfectly balances how much platforming and how much shooting there is. There are planets with almost no platforming, big open spaces with just oceans of enemies to fight. But there are tons of areas where it's just platforming, and these are a blast to play through. There's puzzles where you move objects around. The Dynamo is one of my favorites, with the platforming in those sections reminding me of Mega Man style platforming. On top of that, you also have this meter which levels up the health when it fills up, and sometimes it comes in clutch, being so close to death and leveling it up and getting your health back. I can't even count how many times that saved my life. My other complaint in the first game was the clank segments. I thought they halted the pacing and felt like puzzles for babies, and they went on for way too long. And each of those issues is also fixed in this game. Clank has two types of levels. One is the puzzle type, where you run around collecting little robots and sending them to fight for you before sending them through a doorway. This time it's still that, but Clank puts up more of a fight and can take more than one hit, and there are new styles of robots introduced. A bridge bot that makes bridges across gaps, and a hammer bot that can throw you to higher spots. You mix that in with the new fun but simple platforming as Clank, and the fact that these levels are way shorter this time around, I think it's perfect. I love these sections now. The other type of Clank levels are these big ass planet wide battles against a boss where you absolutely destroy an entire planet while fighting off goons. These are so chaotic and fun, and just throwing enemies around or being thrown yourself around these big ass skyscrapers while these helicopters try to shoot you down, or UFO with legs try to beat your ass and hide the Bible of God watching. It's challenging, it's fun, it's going commando. On top of all of that, there's racing minigames which I love, even if I thought they were a bit too easy. Flying minigames which are fantastic, the controls are great, and the pressure of being absolutely wrecked from behind, only to bust a U-turn behind the enemy jets and shoot them all down while taking down a bigger ship. It feels epic. And there's combat arena challenges where you go round for round with tons of enemies and you can fight boss fights, leading up to the impossible challenge where you face off against 60 rounds of enemies. And I only know that because I googled how long they were, because I could not beat them. But damn, these combat arenas are my weakness. I spend so much time in these. And just when you think it's over, the credits have finished rolling, the game hits you with big news: New Game Plus. Now, let's talk about New Game Plus, because most of the time I hate New Game Plus in video games. I think a perfect example of why I hate it is a Spider-Man Miles Morales game. I love that game, and Miles Morales is my favorite of the Spider people. So when the New Game Plus option shows up, I get excited thinking, oh, let's run through it one more time with new upgrades, new missions, maybe some secrets. No, I 100%ed the Miles Morales game on my first go, and New Game Plus is just the game again, and when you level up, instead of getting new gear, you just get a little bit stronger until you get a trophy at the very end. New Game Plus is the easiest way to just give more gameplay with bare minimum effort, and a handful of games really drop the ball on New Game Plus, so I never even bother with it. The Ratchet & Clank series thrives on New Game Plus though. The first game had it too, but I was way too excited to play this one to even bother with that one, so I literally finished this game and I immediately jumped back in to play the New Game Plus mode and record footage of that. New Game Plus lets you keep all your weapons. The ones that are upgraded stay upgraded, and New Game Plus is a perfect way to finish upgrading the weapons you never got around to. In the shop are now mega upgrades for all the weapons, which are pricey as heck, along with new guns that are also pricey as heck, and the best armor in the game, which is also pricey as heck. But it's okay, because now you can get bolts way faster since New Game Plus includes combos. So the more enemies you kill, the higher this multiplier goes, with the highest being 20. I never got there because I'm trash, but of course that multiplies how much each bolt is worth. You get hit at all and the counter resets, and I mean, that's probably one of my favorite things in this game, because the enemies are so much stronger now, but by this point you're all decked out and upgraded, so it's not completely easy, but it doesn't feel unfair. It's this super addicting cycle, and I can't wait to go back and replay this game for probably the 7th or the 8th time, and then do it all again in New Game Plus, and maybe even platinum it this time. I don't know, maybe. And that's Ratchet & Clank going commando. Look, it's difficult to throw the word perfect around. Some of my all-time favorite video games still have moments that I'm not a fan of, or features that I don't entirely fuck with. Going commando isn't perfect technically, because it's still got like a super weak story, and the difficulty can be a tiny bit off-putting sometimes. But man, when the gameplay is this refined and addicting, there's so much to explore and collect, and such majestic sights to see, it's hard not to give this game a 10 out of 10. So I'ma do that. 10 out of 10. As for the next one, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, I've actually never played that game. I kind of just skipped that one and a couple ones after this, so I'm excited to see how that holds up. And if you're interested in seeing how I think it holds up, like and subscribe, and I'll kiss you. I won't kiss you. I'm sorry.